legends are made, where champions are crowned, where dreams come true. You're watching Fox Sports.
Team Canada is back, set to defend the title of World Team Champion. An elite group of challengers are poised to wrestle that crown away. A battle is brewing here in Milwaukee, where good times are on tap and old sitcoms never die.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Seville, Survival, Hudson, Seven, Corporation. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Do it our way. Nothing's gonna turn us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. On your mark, get set and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. For me and you.
Laverne and Shirley have moved on, but Milwaukee can't shake the memories. We promise, though, to offer up some new dreams as Fox Sports presents the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge, where the superpowers of the skating world collide. So come on inside the Bradley Center and settle in for the next 90 minutes. Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Colbert. In this unique competition, skaters break free from the traditional mentality of me against the world and skate for a much greater goal, international pride. We have 4 teams here today representing the USA, Canada, Russia, and Europe. Now, keep in mind that although this is the 5th World Team Challenge, it's the first time that it's sanctioned by the International Skating Union, which means we have Olympic-eligible skaters as well as the pros. Joining me to help break down the field, an All-American announced team, 1984 Olympic silver medalists Rosalind Sumners and Peter Carruthers. Now, Roz, as the ladies warm up to skate first, how do they adapt from thinking this is an individual sport to the team game?
Well, it's actually a bit of a relief, but it's also extra pressure. But it's a huge positive to know you have the support and motivation to feed off of from your team spirit. Now, each team consists of 1 pair, a lady, and a man. And a team with a strong presence here is Team Europe. They have Olympic bronze medalists Mandy Wurzel and Ingo Steuer, who are known for their exact precision and power. Stephen Cousins has 2 exciting and very entertaining programs planned. And, of course, Katarina Witt, who is always an imposing threat with her nerves of steel and her competitive experience.
She's going to get a lot of competition from the Russians, and the Russian lady is very strong. Maria Butrskaya, who is the world bronze medalist, she came to practice with a head cold today, so that could be a factor. And then for the men, it's Alexei Yagudin, who's the world champion. Very impressive. How about this in practice today? 2 quads were laid down on the ice, so he is exceptional with the jumps. And then Kazakova and Dmitriev, the Olympic champions, so much depth and power in their skating. They will definitely be a huge asset and round out a very strong Russian team.
Well, in contrast to the polish of Kazakova and Dmitriev, the U.S. pair team, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman, are a brand new partnership, and they are making their competitive debut here today, so they have a lot of pressure. Nicole Boba can be unpredictable, but she is one skater who actually relaxes and skates better in the team format. And, of course, Todd Eldridge, who has been strong and consistent all season, actually beating Olympic champion Ilya Kulik a couple of times, so his teammates know they can count on him.
Well, Roz, it was the Canadian team last year in this building that won the gold medal, and they'll have the master on the ice, Kurt Browning, who's got it all. He's got the jumps, the artistry. He's a dangerous weapon for the Canadian team. The team of Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz, they're going to have their hands full competing against the Olympic medalists in the pairs competition. And then there's Jose Chouinard, who last year in this competition helped Team Canada win the gold medal by her very solid performance. So for her, she starts this whole thing off with a very fond memory.
I think Canada always had a good team spirit, and last year really worked together and helped cheer for each team member, and it really helped. Felt good about it, and we intend to do that again this year.
The team spirit is what this competition is all about, and Jose can get Team Canada cheering with the first of her 2 interpretive free skating programs. Jose's music is titled Hurt So Bad.
I miss the arms that used to hold me, the tender way we used to kiss.
Well, Jose is skating a brand new program here today, choreographed by Leanne Miller, and it is packed. She's going to open with a triple toe, double toe combination. And she needs that to set her up for the rest of the program.
Started leaning on that jump. Another big jump plan. The triple Lutz is coming up. If she can get it back on track, that would help a lot. That triple Lutz. She hit it well in practice earlier today. Oh.
Now that's her second major mistake on technical elements. It's really going to hurt her first set of marks. Combination spin, also an important factor in the technical program. Different positions, amounts of rotations on the spin. Jose's worked so hard the last few years, not only becoming a more consistent performer, but controlling the nerves that really affected her when she was an amateur. Nice triple foul. She's a fighter to do that at the end of the program.
There you go.
Nice double axel right at the end. That shows stamina and strength.
She got it back at the end.
Jose Chouinard, the 3-time Canadian champ, 2-time Canadian pro champ, led her team to victory here last year. This time, they're going to need a little help.
Kind of a rough start, but you have to give her a lot of credit for reeling it in and getting the concentration back on the 2 jumps that she did hit, the double axel and the triple salchow.
We'll see what the judges think, explain the scoring here today, and Katarina Witt skates when we come back. Team Canada rallying around Jose Chouinard, who just completed the first performance of the day. Her marks in a moment. First, let's bring you up to speed on today's format. Each team member will perform 2 interpretive free skates. Round 1 will be a technical program. Round 2, to be completed in 2 weeks here on Fox, will be an artistic program. 5 judges will base their marks on ISU scoring. That's a 6.0 scale. Each competitor is rewarded points for placement within each round. These points go toward the overall team total. And we're set for Jose's scores. In Olympic-eligible competition, we're used to hearing a technical mark. In open competition, it's called skating techniques.
Well, Susie, it's important to know that in this competition, there are no restrictions on the jumps and spins. They can do as many as they want.
And yet, Peter, those 5.4s for skating techniques do reflect the 2 mistakes on the jumps. And, of course, these marks for presentation coming up. A very well-rounded choreographed program for Jose today. Next one.
Next to skate, captivating Katarina Witt. Since winning back-to-back Olympic gold in '84 and '88, she's been turning heads both on and off the ice. But her latest performance has those heads spinning as Katarina landed on the cover of Playboy's December issue.
I think it was about time to do that. Since they have been after me for many, many years, and I constantly said no, I was ready to say yes. Because I guess now I'm in a different mind frame, and I'm really proud of them.
Clearly, Katarina has no regrets, although she has created quite a stir at home.
That was the most difficult part to explain to my parents, because they still remember me 10 years ago saying, no, no, never, never, you know. But of course, you always change your mind when you grow older or you grow more mature.
Ever evolving, she's still searching for a balance between a career that's as hot as ever and the little things in life that wait for no one.
On one way, I want to try to slow down. On the other hand, I don't want to. I sort of want to keep the time standing still because I really love what I'm doing.
Her fans love what she's doing, too. So charismatic, and let's not forget, she is the most decorated lady in figure skating, still actively skating today.
Well, Katarina is skating a very comfortable program for her, Man of La Mancha. She went back and trained with her old coach, Frau Mueller, in the past 2 weeks. And she said, whoa, what a shock. She forgot how hard she was. Katarina doesn't have the technical content of the other ladies, but she's going to try the triple toe here.
She was hitting him in practice, but not consistently.
She was, but she said she was very scared of that. Her strongest jump, very consistent, double axel. And no, she turned it into a single. I think the fall in the triple really affected her. Peter, we know that Katarina is really a true entertainer at heart. She even was when she was an amateur. But now she's with a new generation of ladies, and she's trying to prove that she can still compete at this level. It's very difficult for her. disappointed with that mistake, especially the double axel.
An elementary jump for her to do the double axel and to have her single it. You're right, she will be upset. Katarina told us in practice today that she hasn't really been doing the triple toe loop, so I don't think she has the experience. She's very determined. Sometimes she can pull it off, but sometimes your odds catch up with you. You really have to be doing these skills on a daily basis to hit them in when you're under pressure.
Here's the flying camel. She gets a wonderful position with the arms. Sort of a lay back in the flying camel. Wonderful.
Now, there are no deductions, but her first set of marks certainly are low.
There are no deductions, as you mentioned. However, with the mistakes in the jumps, this is a technical program, so you do get credit for good jumps. And unfortunately, that did not happen, and that's a result on the techniques mark.
Again, consistent in presentation, but still not as high as Jose Chouinard's.
And not quite as high as Katarina is used to seeing. It's a whole new ball game now.
A lady very familiar with that ball game is on deck. Maria Butirskaya skates for Team Russia next. Maria Butirskaya representing Team Russia. Maria, a seasoned veteran at 26. She won the Russian National Championship 5 times, but it was this year that she finally broke through at Worlds, medaling for the first time. She won bronze. Skating to the St. James Infirmary Blues.
Very effectively, I might add.
Well, it's that sultry presence that gets the audience's attention, but she also needs the jumps. She's opening here with triple Lutz. No.
Oh.
Again, not the height.
Like Chouinard, a very hard fall on the triple Lutz. She loves the triple loop. Let's see if she can hit that here. Oh.
Well, she was really leaning in the air, but we call that having cat feet. She really hung on.
As we mentioned earlier, she does have a head cold, and what that can do is throw off your equilibrium for these difficult jumps.
Maria, the first Olympic eligible lady to skate, and even though she fell, she is the one pushing the other ladies here today.
Absolutely. She's one of the most current, and She's been skating very well lately. You have to question whether or not this head cold really had something to do with the performance. But I think she adds a lot of nice dynamic to the ladies' event.
This triplette, she didn't have quite enough speed or height. Her ankle kind of cranked over on the takeoff. She wasn't even completed the rotation, went off the heel, went down.
Now after that jolt, she performed this. This is really impressive, taking off backwards, really up over her right side, and then a little weird with the arms, but she's so stable that she landed it.
Same on the double axel. She got a little leaning in the air, but she fought for that one. I think everything took a little extra effort and concentration.
Maria Butyrskaya scores for skating techniques.
5.5.
Hey, those are pretty good marks for skating techniques. A high of 5.7 from the Canadian judge. She should be pleased with that, considering.
The marks for presentation, 5.7.
And the highest presentation marks of the day so far.
5.8, 5.6.
Her Russian teammate Alexia Gudin certainly pleased as Maria takes over first, but a fellow Olympian is yet to skate. Team USA's Nicole Bobek getting some last-minute advice. Stay tuned.
Skating for Team USA, Nicole Bobek.
Nicole Bobek representing Team USA. At 21, she's the youngest lady here. She is fighting to find her groove again. The 95 U.S. champ is a crowd pleaser when she puts it all together.
Coach Richard Callahan out of Detroit. How is it different this time around? That he's not putting the pressure on her. She's doing it herself.
Oh.
Trying to hang on to an opening triple toe.
A lot closer on that triple toe than we've seen. The next jump for her. Triple sow cow. Getting closer, but just barely hanging on.
This music sounds familiar. It's the popular Angel by Sarah McLachlan.
Double toe. And Richard said that now, after such a tough Olympics, the redemption isn't going to come from winning. It just has to come from skating well.
Look at the moments of brilliance in her skating with this spiral. Lovely.
The other ladies struggle. There's plenty of room for Nicole.
What a way to end the program. Well, you have to say she's a lot closer now with the jumps than she was. She's not having those drastic hard falls, so that is an improvement in that standpoint with the jump. But as you said, Roz, she's rebuilding.
She is, and that's going to come from consistent training. And Richard said that's not quite there yet. Sometimes her jumps have a real lazy feeling about them. She starts swinging the leg around, just very out of position in the middle of the air. Can't hang on to the landing.
Now in this triple Salchow, she stays perpendicular to the ice, but then starts to lean. However, that's an improvement over what we have seen where she just completely falls. That's a big effort, so things seem to be going in the right direction.
Well, let's see
The
what
marks
the judges
for
think of
skating
that program. Nicole's marks for skating techniques.
5.4.
That just goes to show you if she could just land those jumps where she would be, but they're obviously taking a toll on the skating technique.
5.6.
And quite a difference of opinion here, a 5.3 to a 5.8.
5.7.
Yeah, you tell them. You don't mess with her. And that completes round one for the ladies. Maria Butyrskaya in first earns 20 points for Team Russia. Jose Swinard, who kicked off the competition, holds on to second. And of course, with just 1/3 of the first round complete, the team scores are a direct reflection of the ladies' finish.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Still to come, the Olympic gold medalists display unmatched artistry. But the Olympic bronze medalists are never easy to beat. Kurt Browning will turn up the heat on the men, but watch out, Todd Eldridge has been cool under pressure. Contrasting styles of play when we come right back. Back inside the Bradley Center, where the Olympic champions are warming up for more of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge. Before we move ahead, a quick look back. The Canadian national champions were the first pair on the ice, Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz.
Unison problems with those spins. Very important to keep them together in pair skating.
They struggled in the beginning of the program with the triple toe jumps. They just never seem to quite get their pace back in this program. A lot of little mistakes, Peter.
Yes. Somewhat choppy. Throw triple Salchow. Never stopping the rotation with the arms and the legs going back.
More on their marks as the rest of the competition develops. And now, in contrast, the Olympic gold medalists.
And Artur Dmitriev.
Kazakova and Dmitriev skating for Team Russia. This is their first appearance for Team Russia at the World Team Challenge. What a great addition.
The big change in their life is that they now train in Stamford, Connecticut with Tamara Mosvina. So moving across the globe to train in the United States. In practice, they have kept up their excellence. And right off the bat, they're going to try a throw triple Salchow. Watch the height she gets. Oh,
Huge and really solid landing.
beauty.
Here the solo jump side-by-side double axel. She nailed hers. He turned his into a single.
Split triple twist lift. That element is hard because the timing has to be perfect by both partners.
And he seems to have such a great idea of where she is every moment in the air.
Awareness. Look at this move here as she just skims across the ice and she does not even put her feet down to be thrown into the air. Incidentally, this is the long program that they skated at the Olympic Games in Nagano, so we're seeing quite a special performance here.
Nice unison, side-by-side spins.
Now watch him swing her out of this lift. Great momentum and the finish. That's what's always so impressive, how finished off everything is.
And they've kept up their speed throughout this entire program.
Incredibly artistic skaters.
What originality. That's what makes them so unique. Always pushing the envelope with innovation.
And this unique lift, another example of pushing that envelope.
Little trip there. What a special team to watch. Susie, you've got a huge smile on your face.
Their skating makes you want to smile. It's just so beautiful, so put together.
Watch the height she gets on that triple Salchow in the opening of the program. That's a statement that we are the Olympic champions.
The side-by-side double axels, hers was beautiful. She never even got up off the ice.
Now this is incredible. Watch this. Her feet will not touch the ice. She'll rotate and then he'll, with his great strength, just throw her into the air. So difficult to do. So original and different. Kazakova and Dmitriev.
And just the minor problems, we'll see how they're reflected in the scores for skating technique.
5.8.
They look pretty good.
Very solid marks.
The marks for presentation.
And as you would expect, they go up for presentation.
5.9. 5.8.
Again, wonderful originality and speed and strength throughout the entire program, never letting up.
From the ultimate in polish to the ultimate in potential, Team USA presents a brand new pair next. Backstage at the Bradley Center, Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman with some last-minute preparations. Together only a few months before arriving here in Milwaukee, this new pair has a familiar look. That's because Kyoko is a two-time national champ with former partner Jason Dungeon. John won bronze with Stephanie Stiegler.
We had so many expectations from other people saying, oh, you know, we're looking forward to your skating. You have a great shot at winning nationals. You have a great shot at the future, Worlds, Olympics, and so on down the road. Right now, we're taking one step at a time.
That begins with the right coach. After 4 changes, they finally landed with world-famous Tamara Mospina. Still, the process takes patience.
It really is a humbling experience because you realize how much you really can keep learning. You're learning with a master right now. So we're really, you know, the confidence right there is just tremendous.
They'll need that extra shot of confidence today. Just imagine it's your first competition together and you're up against the Olympic gold and bronze medalists.
Well, we've seen their potential on the practice ice, but here's where they have to put it all together.
And hopefully make their mark with these international judges. Side-by-side triple toe loops. He was leaning, fell out of it. Very nerve-wracking for the first time for these two because they're getting used to each other. The timing, very important. Boy, did they do that well. The way he set her down so softly, showing great control. She really sails on these throws. Triple only a double. Now they're going to want to step that up and do a throw triple in the future if they're going to be competitive against the top teams in the world. This is what takes so much time, getting that unison down together. And no matter how good you are as individual skaters, it's the hours and hours of practice to get that unison.
Both skaters have history with other partners, but not only have they changed partnership, but they've also changed their coaching. That's a lot in the first season together.
But they're with the best, Tamara Mosvina in Stamford, Connecticut. Now here's something they're really gaining from Tamara Mosvina, the originality in these spins. That will definitely help them on the international scene.
Well, they should be very proud. A very impressive debut.
And really not as much of a stretch as we thought with them being here to compete. And Tamara Mosvina admits that they may not be competition ready, but you're not going to make true strides until you get out here. It won't just happen on practice ice.
Kyoko is very solid on the triple jumps. John, you'll have to keep your eyes on him to see him start to lean in the air, and he falls off the perpendicular axis and settles down. That could have been a nerve problem right there. One of the hardest things in pair skating is to get the timing down on moves like this split double twist. Look at how perfectly she is set down. That's got great potential for a big triple.
The marks for skating techniques, 5.6, 5.4.
Here are the marks for skating techniques for Ina and Zimmerman. 5.4 to 5.6.
The marks for presentation.
Remember, this is a new team.
5.6.
So these
5.7.
second marks come up considerably. The judges like what they see. That's strong.
At the other end of the
Skating for
spectrum,
Team
a
Europe,
team that has been
Mandy
together
Wetzel
since
and Ingo
1992.
Stoyer.
The final pair of the day, Olympic bronze medalists and the 97 world champs, Mandy Wetzel and Ingo Stoyer.
It's a much softer look for this team. They're both very strong skaters on their own, and they are opening with the triple toes.
Oh my gosh. That's a statement right there. That's as good as it gets. Perfect. Wonderful rotation on that lift.
And they skate with such speed and power throughout the program, but actually going into each element, they're picking up acceleration.
What a beautiful element. Perfect position for her on that death spiral. Head was close to the ice.
They really complement each other, and the program and the moves just seem to just flow right together.
Throw double axel. Let's see if she can stand up.
Beautiful position in the air.
And the confidence on the landing. Extraordinary. Tell you.
Wow.
In my mind, that was the best performance in the pair event so far.
Absolutely.
The precision of the element stood up very well to Kozakova and Dmitriev, and they did not rush anything. It was all stretched out and smooth. They have come so far.
Both of these triple toes on their own are so solid, so complete. Both have wonderful positions in the air, even landing at exactly the same time.
On the spin, they were a little bit out of unison, but they did get them back at the end. Really telling in slow motion, but watch the height and coverage she gets on this throw double axel. Magnificent, the strength in her back to accommodate that force as she lands.
A very solid performance. And here are the scores for skating techniques for the German team of Wutzel and Steuer. Are these as high as you would have expected?
Well, I would have seen them a little bit higher, especially that 5.6. I do not agree with that for Canada.
Well, presentation goes way up, but still not enough to overtake Kozakova and Dmitriev. And here are the results after the technical portion of the pairs competition. Remember, there's still an artistic skate that will happen in 2 weeks here on Fox. Kozakova and Dmitriev earned 20 points for first. And the overall team standings, with first-place finishes in both the ladies and the pairs competition, Team Russia in first with 40 points. And look who's still waiting in the wings for Team Russia, the world champion. The men are set to go. Kurt Browning putting on the finishing touches. Todd Eldridge looking loose. The men skate next. Welcome back to the Bradley Center and Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge, along with Rosalind Sumners and Peter Crothers. I'm Susie Tolver. Before we move ahead, a quick look back. After the ladies and pairs completed the technical program, we find Russia in first place with 40 points, followed by Canada, Europe, and the United States. And Rosalind, we look back at the ladies, really, nobody brought the house down.
No, they were actually a little flat. They were not very entertaining. They felt like they were just going through the motions and saw a lot of mistakes on the jump.
And when you look at the pairs event, well, it's kind of interesting. I actually had Bertzl and Steuer of Europe ahead of Kozakova and Dmitriev, but I think the judges are so wowed by Kozakova and Dmitriev that they edged him out in that part of the competition.
Well, now it's in the men's hands, and the United States team needs a big boost, and they certainly can look to Todd Eldredge.
Well, they will. He is a pressure skater, and he has to lay down a clean program, so they're really going to be rooting for him.
Yeah, but you got to watch out for Alexei Yagudin. As I mentioned earlier, he has thrown down some quads. Will he try it in the technical program? That remains to be seen. But if he hits a quad, watch out.
Alexei Yagudin represents Team Russia. We keep talking about this great arsenal of jumps. He also happens to be the youngest man here at 18 years old. He's the youngest here by 8 years.
This will be his interpretation of Lawrence of Arabia. Training with Tatiana Tarasova, the woman that coached Ilya Kulik to Olympic gold, a big coaching change for him. He was solid in practice on this.
It's so solid. I mean, he didn't even have that much speed. He just stepped into beautiful triple axel. But he's just starting. He has 4 more triples planned. Very intimidating for the next 3 men to follow. Very clean choreography, very crisp.
Next big triple for him, the triple flip. Wow. Technical perfection on that.
He's reminding us why he is the 1998 world champion.
Footwork step sequence.
Very intricate, continuing the speed throughout.
And tiring to do footwork like that.
And he just stepped right into a triple loop.
Out of the blue.
Absolute perfect balance. It takes amazing control to come from that speed and to pull it down to a slow, emotional section.
Up in the jumps here, the triple lutz.
At the 3-minute mark. Beautiful. This is where true stamina comes in, picking up the speed at the end of the program. Still 1 more triple plan.
Triple toe loop. He's as strong at the end of the program as he was at the beginning.
Well, he could not have skated this program any cleaner.
What an athlete. To perform the jumps like that and then combine that with good artistry.
Here's the triple axel. Not much of a setup. Steps right into it. Perfect air position. solid, clean landing.
Think about it. He finished 3.5 rotations, about a half foot off the ice. Now the triple flip, it just continued vaulting up into the air. Look how straight he is. Never getting into trouble with the rotation because he's placed where he should be on the jump.
And the rotation comes so naturally, he doesn't even have to pull his arms all the way into his body. There's the triple lutz at the end of the program.
Well, he never did the quad in this competition, but he did it in practice. I think he just used the quad as an intimidating factor more than anything.
5.7.
Look at these first set of marks, 5.7s and 5.8s.
5.8.
Very strong.
The marks for presentation, 5.8, 5.8,
5.8 reflecting the very complicated choreography. Clean program.
That footwork was something.
Team Russia already in first gets a strong performance from Yagudin. He sets the bar. Kurt Browning will have to work some magic to match it. Kurt Browning getting a pep talk from his Canadian teammate José Chouinard as they strategize a quick look back at the performance of Team Europe's Stephen Cousins, the 9-time British national champ.
Well, he's known as an entertainer, but he didn't quite have the technical content in this program to keep him up with the other competitors.
He sure knows how to get an audience.
Well, Stephen's been dealing with a very serious lower back injury, and he's just getting the timing and the confidence back on these jumps.
And you really need to keep that back healthy and strong, especially on the landings of jumps.
Fun, but it didn't really get it done. You have to come up big not to go down in this competition. Canada's Kurt Browning can feel the pressure. He's a 4-time world champ, but he'd be the first to admit his technical skills have diminished a bit, although he always has the edge in artistry and audience appeal.
Music appropriately titled Lightning Crashes. His style is lightning. Nothing he ever does is just simple.
But he makes it look simple.
Bauer into what was supposed to be a triple loop. He didn't even get off the edge, turned it into a single. That's very unusual for Kurt.
He usually just pops those jumps without any problem.
Complicated footwork.
This moment she's been waiting for.
Number choreographed by Leanne Miller. Very popular name in skating these days.
That's the Kurt we know on jumps.
Especially when he does 2 in a row.
How about 3?
Okay.
Bingo!
Triple toe, but 2-footing the double on the end of that. Complaining about boot problems, but at this point, Peter, you just have to put the excuses on the shelf and go for it.
Especially with what Yagutin put down on the ice. And look at this traveling three-turn. Very hard to do. If you're not in one spot, you're moving across the ice.
Skating well, you can really see it in his face and his body language. That's something he still has yet to master.
Yeah, already shaking his head. He knows not one of his best.
He's the oldest man here at 32, and he doesn't train to keep up with the young guns like Yagutin anymore. He scores when we come back. Back with a disappointed Kurt Browning. He is a fierce competitor, and he may not be training the same, but he still expects a lot from himself.
He had a little bit of a meltdown on this triple toe loop. He gets off up into the air, okay, but the leaning starts to occur. Then he pitches forward. Now, once that happens, he can't jab the left foot in to get up into the air to do the triple. He only did a double there, very sloppy.
It's almost like once he knows he's making a mistake, he just gives up. Real loss of concentration in this program from Kurt.
However, right here, these traveling three turns are difficult because you have to be so balanced to move across the ice like that while turning.
The marks for
Now the program not up to Kurt Browning's standards. His marks for skating techniques.
5.3.
Oh, these are pretty low for Kurt Browning.
5.3.
But again, the 5.3s represent just the whole attitude of the program, which was very down, not just a mistake.
But I guess you can call it potential. Look at the presentation marks, what he's capable of getting from marks. 5.9 from Finland. Strong.
It was a very complicated program. Just missed the jump.
Skating for Team USA, Todd Eldridge.
Throughout the season, the rivalry between Kurt Browning and Todd Eldridge has really taken off. Todd representing Team USA. He is the 5-time U.S. national champion and former world champ. He's really been on a roll since the Olympics. Silver at Worlds, gold at the Goodwill Games. He won the Grand Slam on Fox last month.
Very dramatic interpretation of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Todd only has 4 triples planned.
I have changed, I'm not as sure as when we started.
Nice triple loop. So smooth. Made it look so easy.
Now I'm sad and tired.
That's a nice setup for this next jump, the triple axel.
And boy, does he get a lot of speed going into this. Not holding back at all. Huge. Just gigantic.
Could you ask as much from any other man? But if I die, see the saga through, do the things you are.
Beautiful triple toe. He's really traveling across the ice on his jumps. And Peter, not only the jumps, but just his skating in general. He's getting so much confidence just since Nagano.
The flow, you're right.
It's as if the pressure lifted and now he's just having fun.
I want to see my God. Why I should die.
Again, keeping up that speed. He's really going for it. Triple lutz. Oh, just pitching forward on the landing.
I've said and done matter anymore. Just watch me die. See how I die.
finished with a very fast combination spin, building with the music. This is what always gets the audience. Coach Richard Callahan says that with these new open competitions, the intense training leading up is much shorter than they had been before. He has a little more time off. You can just sense that relaxation out here.
And check out the speed again. He is not tired at all. What a conditioned athlete.
You mentioned conditioning. That's the longest program of the day for the men. In Olympic-eligible competition, he would be doing 2.5 minutes. He starts off with 4:19.
There's your marathon for the day.
And what a way to end the day for Team USA. Todd scores in the overall team standings for round one, and we come right back.
Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Kmart, big holidays begin at Kmart. And by new Feria hair color by L'Oreal, because you're worth it.
Todd Eldridge getting some well-deserved congratulations from his American teammates. They really needed him to come through to pull out of last place, and he did.
And the speed going into this triple axel is what gives him the coverage across the ice, and the tight ankles gives him the rotation.
Never slowing down in this performance. Following through the triple lutz, starts to lean. Usually he can land this, but he just got too far forward, and gravity pulls him down to the ice.
The mark for skating
But the question is, was that program good enough to overtake Alexei Yagudin?
5.7.
Pretty solid skating technique scores to get things started.
Don't forget, he did pitch forward and touch his hand down. Yagudin didn't do that.
5.8.
Another 5.9 for our presentation. Very good, but not quite good enough to overtake Alexei Yagudin. And let's take a look at the standings after the technical portion of the men's competition. Yagudin gains 20 more points for Team Russia. Eldridge with 18 to help Team USA's cause. Kurt Browning finishes in third. Stephen Cousins in fourth. And the overall team standings after the first round. Team Russia with a commanding 10-point lead after sweeping all three disciplines. Team Canada finishes the day in second. Team USA will have some work to do. The Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge resumes in 2 weeks. So it's goodbye for now, but hello again on December 19th. Round two, all about artistry, the ideal stage for the Olympic gold medalist and the super showman, Kurt Browning. And don't miss this, as Nicole Bobek adopts the cheesehead attitude as Team USA goes all out in their quest for gold. The Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge Part 2, coming your way in 2 weeks, right here on Fox. Who says skating is a lonely sport? Camaraderie at its best, displayed today as Team Russia put on a show of force. For Rosalind Sumners, Peter Carruthers, and our entire Fox crew, I'm Susie Kalber. So long from Milwaukee. We'll see you in 2 weeks. forces in sport seem as solitary as center ice. Victory or defeat balanced by the mere width of a blade. But here, the isolation gives way to the explosive spirit of camaraderie. The drama magnified by the power of four. It's a team game, and champions will be crowned next on Fox. Welcome to Milwaukee, commonly known as the genuine American city, although we're not promising a home field advantage as skating's elite fight for international bragging rights. It's Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge. Hi everyone, I'm Susie Calver. We hope you were with us 2 weeks ago as 4 teams representing the United States, Canada, Europe, and Russia battled it out in the technical portion of the competition. Today they'll skate their artistic programs and a team champion will be crowned. But first, let's bring you up to date. Each team is comprised of 1 man, 1 lady, and 1 pair. Although each competitor skates 2 programs, how they finished in round 1 does not affect today's individual results. And this event may be 5 years old, but it's the first time it's sanctioned by the ISU. Kicking off the competition for the ladies, Canada's José Chouinard, who appeared to get off to a shaky start, but managed to hang on to finish second. Team Europe, represented by 2-time Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt, was dealt a disappointing blow as the charismatic cover girl had more than her share of problems, placing 4th. The stumbles continued in the ladies' competition, but Team Russia endured. World bronze medalist Maria Butyrskaya brushed off the bobbles and turned up the tempo to take first. And finishing 3rd among the ladies in round 1, 1995 U.S. national champ Nicole Bobek. Her comeback trail, once again, crossed with bumps. Butyrskaya gets Team Russia off to a fast start. Chouinard collected 18 points for Canada. Bobek put up 16. Witt earned 14 points for Team Europe. And of course, with only the ladies on the board, the overall team scores were a direct reflection of the ladies' results. Up next, the pairs. First on the ice, the Canadian national champs, Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz. A solid showing, but still no match for skating's Olympic powers. Case in point, the keepers of the goal. Oksana Kozakova and Artur Dmitriev dazzled with their familiar flair, capturing first and keeping Team Russia on a roll. Team USA could offer little defense. Yoko Ina and John Zimmerman show promise and potential, but in their first competition together, the duo finished last. Rounding out the pairs competition, Olympic bronze medalist Mandy Buchel and Ingo Stoyer. Skating for Team Europe. A powerful program left us wondering why they didn't finish first. This veteran pair had to settle for second. Standings for the pairs broke down this way. Kozakova and Dmitriev with 20 points. Buchel and Stoyer make up some ground for Team Europe with 18. Overall standings find Team Russia increasing their lead with 40 points to Canada's 34. Team USA falls to 4th. And finally, the men controlled their team's first-round destiny. World champion Alexei Yagudin, the youngest skater here, wowed the crowd with his impressive arsenal of jumps, completing the Russian sweep. Team Europe's Stephen Cousins had all the moves, but not the marks, as he struggled with the technical parts of his program, finishing fourth. Kurt Browning, one of skating's best-loved athletes, turned on the charm but couldn't challenge as Canada's top pro landed in third. Team USA needed a huge lift. Five-time national champ Todd Eldridge delivered. He laid down a passionate program good enough for second place. And with that, Eldridge tallies 18 points toward Team USA's cause. Browning will look to rebound in round two, where his strengths are expected to shine. Team standings after round one, the Russian foursome dominated, opening up a 10-point lead. Canada, the defending champs, a tough road to repeat. Joining me once again, 1984 Olympic silver medalists Rosalind Sumners and Peter Carruthers. Roz, skating is typically viewed as an individual sport. When you're skating for a team, is there less pressure or even more pressure?
Well, actually, it's the ultimate peer pressure, except this time the peers are your teammates, and they want you and need you to skate well. So not only are you trying to skate your very best and live up to your expectations, but you do not want to be the one to let your team down. So I've always found it more pressure myself.
And 2 weeks ago, Peter, we got a full dose of the superpowers in skating, and Russia is right there on top.
They dominate, don't they? And they are also equally great performers. And here in the artistic portion of the competition, remember, we're bringing in theatrical lighting, so that could help bring up their performance levels. But Team Canada has a couple of very strong skaters. One, Kurt Browning, and when he gets in front of spotlights and an audience, watch out. And Jose Chouinard, remember, she did help Canada win this event last year, so Team Canada can do well if they perform.
And Team USA is in third place, only 2 points out of second place, and Nicole Bobeck, artistic competition is where she can shine and could prove to be the secret weapon for the USA.
And here's the format the skaters will follow. 5 judges will base their marks on ISU scoring. That's a 6.0 scale. Each competitor is rewarded points for placement within each round. These points go toward the overall team total. Skaters are allowed to use music with lyrics, which adds an entertaining dynamic. The programs must run between 2.5 and 5 minutes. The 1995 U.S. national champ leads the way as the ladies kick off round 2 next.
Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. By Maximum Strength Tylenol Flu, strength you can trust. And by Sears, whatever makes you merry this season, you'll find it at the merry side of Sears.
The 21-year-old Nicole Bobeck can set the tone for Team USA today, but first she has to get her own rhythm back. So much potential. Accomplishment. So much inconsistency. But she's ready to make another run. She's reunited with former coach Richard Callahan.
I think it's all coming together. Each little competition I've done, even though they haven't been great ones, they're each a step up. Even though Olympics was very hard and I wanted to do well and it just didn't happen. And, I wanted to stop right in the middle and just didn't want to do it. And, but I kept fighting. So I think that was more important than just giving up, basically. It was a hard winter, but, I still made it, and I still can say that, I was an Olympian.
That bounce-back attitude has kept her in the games, but of course she wants much more, to be on top, to be understood.
It's an emotional roller coaster. When I skate, I project whatever my feelings are out on the ice, and I can't act as if, oh, I'm happy and I'm fine when I'm really upset. It's been a show.
And maybe that's why Nicole has such a great relationship with the audience. She always wears her emotions on her sleeve. Nicole goes retro today, skating to a 1970s medley. This should get the crowd going.
number by herself, which just shows another side of her talent.
Maybe if she can just relax, get into the character, these jumps might just fall into place. The first one, a triple toe loop. Hey! How about that?
Now she just needs to feed off of that strong opening. Nice double axel. To see on Nicole's face. So great to see her skate well. Program, and she loosens up, she skates up to her potential on top of her game and has fun. Nice double flip.
You might remember that Nicole finished third 2 weeks ago, but she starts with a clean slate today. Only the team totals carry over, not the individual points.
Well, it's very difficult to skate first, and here Nicole has set the pace for the rest of the ladies. Great variation of a flying camel into a back stretch spin.
Best we've seen her skate. She knows it.
That was genuinely fun, and that's something we haven't been able to say about one of Nicole's programs in a while. Nicole in a comfort zone with the artistic program, and it shows. She's got Team USA back on track. Her scores when we come right back. Back with you from the Bradley Center, where Nicole Bobeck has just laid down a program packed with style, skill, and most importantly, smiles. Her teammates and sharing in the love.
And here's the triple toe that had such solid legs, solid position, very strong landing. The smile on her face. She knows it was good.
And she really used that positive momentum to get her up into the air on this double axel. Great landing.
And she puts a nice double flip in here at the end of the program. Nicole always has nice extensions on her landing position.
Well, we know Nicole is a fighter. She brushed off the results from the technical program.
Skating technique.
And here are her marks for skating technique.
Well, she's got to be happy with this because what has led up to this season is not this. So she stood up, did her jump, very good.
For presentation, 5.8.
And she knows how to capture a crowd, doesn't she?
5.8. 5.7. 5.7.
Be a tough act to follow.
Everybody Disney, everybody's getting some love behind Dennis Patrick. 1, 1, 1. Hi, Brian, I love you.
Skating for Team Europe, Katarina Witt.
Katarina, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, has capitalized on her charisma in so many ways. Her resume includes an Emmy, a couple of film cameos, and of course, a magazine cover. Playboy, she chose the pictures, and she's very proud.
Katarina is known as an athletic skater, but this number is a much softer style for her. She says as well as the audience feeling her power, she wants them to feel her emotion. Nailed its first double axel. She missed it in the technical program. Beautiful. Double loop right into a double foul. Simply letting the program breathe. Katarina may not be sure she still wants to compete, but this is where she shines.
And to think where she has come from, I remember in 1981 visiting her on an ISU tour behind the wall in Berlin. She's experienced so much in her lifetime, and you just can't measure that, and it really just shows up in the maturity she has on the ice and the experience.
And, of course, in 84 and 88, back-to-back Olympic gold medals.
Here's that double axel. Nice height. Nice landing. Again, her toughest jump. So now it's just a nice double loop.
Flying camel position with a what we call layout. Very settled in the ice and relaxed. Just what you want for a nice artistic program.
And Katarina finished fourth in the technical portion of the competition. This much more to her liking, the artistic side, the theatrical lighting. These four should be more what we're familiar with Katerina.
5.4.
But again, they are a little bit low at the 5.4s reflected. Her hardest jump was the double axel.
Presentation, 5.7.
However, I think that these presentation marks should go up, and they do, because she does lend a beautiful maturity to ladies figure skating. Well done.
Go, Jose.
When we come back, Jose Chouinard redefines delightful. Backstage at the Bradley Center with Nicole Bobeck and friend. Nicole currently in first, but there are two ladies left to skate.
Skating for Team Canada, Jose Chouinard.
Jose Chouinard is skating for Team Canada, and she just loves this team format. Her program is prima donna, and I don't know how many skaters could pull this off, but she can.
This is where the actress in Jose can really come out.
Very light, effortless, and right in character.
Beautiful triple lutz.
To the moon.
Number is choreographed by Lori Nickel, who, of course, has done so much for Michelle Kwan.
Look at her jump up on her toes in that spin. So hard to do.
Again, something that looks easy, but takes a lot of control. And a beautiful triple toe right at the end of a program. This is a great look for Jose.
Totally adorable.
Jose rallied Team Canada to the title last year. She just loves this format.
The expression of the character to the music was absolutely delightful, and that's important in the artistic program, so the judges will be weighing that. Nice job.
And this is the triple lutz she missed in the technical program. Much more relaxed today. Right up straight. Nice leg position. Big smile.
And then this character that she displayed throughout the entire program while performing tough skills. Wonderful. What a delight.
And finishing the program with a really solid triple toe.
The mark
Jose
for
was
skating
second
technique.
to Maria Butirskaya after the technical program, and here are her marks for skating technique
5.8.
in the artistic program
5.7.
from 5.5 to
The mark
5.8.
for presentation.
And they are very
5.7.
strong marks.
5.7. 5.7.
Couple of 5.9s there for
5.9,
presentation.
5.9.
And those marks are the judges' appreciation of Jose trying something different.
The pressure is on. Can Maria Butirskaya keep Team Russia on top? Stick around. Team Russia trying to build on their lead, and it begins right here with Maria Butirskaya. These the current ladies' standings, and Maria very capable of shaking things up. She took first 2 weeks ago in the technical portion of the competition. Maria has been on fire this season. Her maturity evident, her consistency on par with the best in the world, and she's got the hardware to back it up. After years in pursuit, she broke through at Worlds this year, winning bronze.
Interpretation of Forever Tango is really a very good part for her because it shows her expressiveness and the way she is innovative with her moves.
Leaning too much in the air on that triple loop to hang on to the landing.
Back on the toe loop.
Very dramatic attitude that Maria carries throughout this program.
I think the spotlights are distracting her a little bit. She's not as used to the lights as some of the other skaters.
on jumps and choreography, try new styles. A little messy double axel there at the end. Each skater will vary. Some will be more consistent. Some will find the schedule hard and you'll see more mistakes.
Maria has been so consistent lately. This has to be.
And she struggled with the same thing on this final double axel. Tries to heave herself up into the air. Really no technique at all. Two-footed and had to flip out of it.
The marks for skating techniques.
First set of marks for Maria
5.5.
Butcherskaya are for skating techniques. 5.5s across the board.
And this is definitely a setback for the Russian team to see scores this low for skating techniques.
5.8, 5.6.
And these marks aren't much higher. Now again, even though it is artistic, those three major mistakes really marred the performance.
Maria with a shocker from first to fourth. And how about this? Nicole Bobek comes up big, taking first in the artistic portion of the competition, collecting 20 points for Team USA. A check of the overall standings. With Nicole's win, Team USA moves into a tie for second with Team Canada. Rosalind Sumners has made her way down to the kiss and cry to get a word with the ladies' winner.
Nicole, you are the winner of the ladies' event. You gave your team so many points. How does this feel? How do you keep this performance in your back pocket?
It was hard, I think, after the first one. I was a little nervous getting out there, and I felt like I didn't do too bad, so I got my confidence level up, and in the second program, I'll just have fun and just go out and work the crowd. It's an artistic program. It's what I'm known for and what I really like to do, so just let it rip.
Well, it's your best program in a long time. That must feel awesome.
It felt pretty good. It's been hard to get the confidence level back up, so competitions like this really help.
Well, thanks. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Still to come, the Olympic gold medalists display unmatched artistry. But the Olympic bronze medalists put up a fight for first. Kurt Browning will turn up the heat on the men, but watch out, Todd Eldridge has been cool under fire. Contrasting styles when we come back. The Bradley Center in Milwaukee, home of the Bucks, and today another team game, figure skating. Thanks to Nicole Bobek, Team Russia is vulnerable. Team USA and Canada are tied for second, just 6 points back. The skate order as follows for the pairs competition. Team USA gets the first shot at the Russians, followed by Canada and Europe. And the American pair of Kyoko Ina and John Zimmerman getting some last-minute advice from Coach Tamara Moscovina. Skating in their first event together, they know that this year will be all about learning a new language on the ice.
And on top of that, Susie, they have to do it with a lot of pressure early in their relationship, so they've got to find their comfort zone right away.
Here in Milwaukee, they're up against the Olympic gold medalists and the Olympic bronze medalists. And this program to the theme of Phantom of the Opera.
How to jump in unison, taking off, rotating, and landing at exactly the same time. Nice side-by-side double toe loop.
They've been a pair for a very short time. They have no true expectations of this competition. Their real goal, the Olympics, in 4 years.
Actually, no solo triple jumps are permitted in the artistic program for the pairs. Their emphasis will be expression, presentation. John missing his double axel. And for Kyoko at that point, she sees him fall, but she's just got to keep going and hope that her partner can pick it up and get right back on with her.
Nice position in the lift Both with a very unique twist coming out.
One of the things Tamara Mosvina is bringing out in this team is a lot more expression, and she's really a master of that, to bring so much human emotion to the ice in pair skating. Double Salchow with great coverage. That lift collapsed. They've already been invited to several international competitions for the season, and today is where the experience is starting. The pressure is less daunting for Kyoko, but much more so for John. It's a bit overwhelming for him. She has the Olympic experience that he doesn't. Well, I see a lot of potential here. Here's the emergence of a new team for the United States, that with the great coaching of Tamara Mosvina, who is now in Stamford, Connecticut with her two Russian teams, this is a big help for American pair skating to have her here coaching, and these two are taking advantage of it, trust me. The split double twist. She splits her legs first and then starts the rotation. Already that is a very good skill for them. Kyoko is a very strong jumper. John a little bit behind her. He could not hang on to this double axel. One of the things that's difficult in pair skating is getting the weight distributed perfectly, then holding on without bending the arm. Watch John collapse, and then they both come tumbling down. With experience, they'll know where to position the weight better to have more success on the lift.
The marks for skating techniques.
Ina and Zimmerman were in fourth place after the technical program. Here are their scores for skating techniques.
5.4. The marks for presentation. 5.5.
Not too surprising when you see sort of the rough edges that they have still in their skating.
5.5.
But again, if they keep doing what they're doing, they should do very well.
Bit of a setback for Team USA in pursuit of Team Russia, but it's not over yet. Up next, Canada's first family of pair skating. We'll be right back. Team spirit evident here in Milwaukee. The Russians trying to keep their hold on first.
Skating for Team Canada, Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz.
And on the ice for Team Canada, Christy Sargent and Chris Wirtz. These two paired up in 1992. They're engaged to be married sometime next August. Medley.
And this number choreographed by Marina Zueva, who brought greatness to Katerina Gordieva and Sergei Grinkov.
Wirtz are the 1998 Canadian national champs. Took some trying. They had 3 silver medal finishes.
She was just too high in the air and never got the left foot out and back to land that jump.
In their moves and choreography, and to keep the program a little flat. Nice side-by-side double axel right at the end of the program.
Program. We're reaching the 4-minute mark. The maximum you can skate in this competition is 5 minutes total. Certainly a long number, but when you skate to Duke Ellington, You've got to be very convincing of every move that you do on the ice, and it's a very upbeat piece of music. You can't be chasing it. You have to skate up with it. Their overhead lift, transferring over to most of the weight on his right arm, and then a reverse twist for a landing. Now, what happened here is a case of the left leg and foot not getting back. Watch it just stay in front. That foot should be on its way back, and you can just see it hitting the right foot. And plus, she was way too high in the air on that.
Well, let's see what the judges think of this veteran pairs team.
5.6.
Well, these skating techniques, Marks, are very high, actually. They're higher than Ina and Zimmerman, but they've left plenty of room for the top pair.
The marks for
They're yet to skate.
5.6, 5.7.
And then presentation, well, Norway liked them for sure, 5.8.
5.7.
Ahead, the competition heats up as Wutzel and Stoyer go for an electrifying performance. We promise Ingo's hair won't move. Kazakova and Dmitriev try to hold them off. Stick around.
Skating for Team Europe, Mandy Wetzel and Ingo Stoyer.
Representing Team Europe, the German pair of Mandy Wutzel and Ingo Stoyer. They teamed up in 1992, and since then they won the German Nationals 4 times, the European Championships, and the World Championships, and they just keep getting better.
The music starting out slow, but Peter, from the look of those costumes, I have a feeling this music is really going to go somewhere.
It's titled Revolution. Has that techno-pop feel.
Watch the change of position in the spin. There's 1, 2, and now they'll go into a spin where they hold on together, showing a lot of variation. It takes so much time to develop that.
Well, they're very powerful skaters, and this techno-disco music is right up their alley.
Look at this lift. One arm, that's all balance and placement.
And I would say a lot of trust on her part.
Oh, yeah, you do that on the floor, actually, before you ever try it on the ice.
I don't think I would ever try that on the ice, Peter.
She nailed it in the technical program. Not as solid here in the artistic.
Again, the element of skating in her spotlights is a big difference. You'll also notice that none of their lifts are simple. All of them are very unique and creative. Very different.
Cutting edge.
It takes a lot of strength, too.
Contemporary. Yes, it does. And this artistic program will bring so many contrasting styles and looks on the ice, from costuming to theme, and this is a perfect example of it.
We'll see how the judges feel about techno pop. We're back in a flash. Backstage at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Kurt Browning fired up. The men take their turn shortly. Right now, the pairs competition is tight. Butchel and Stoyer putting the pressure on Kazakova and Dmitriev with a sensational program.
Well, you have to say that creativity is definitely one of the parts of the artistic program, and the way they use their bodies to get into different positions, well, here's an example of that. Leverage is everything on this lift, and perfect balance. You have to master that on the floor before you even begin to think about doing it on the ice.
Shows a lot of strength. Also, this lift showing not only strength, but also flexibility on her part. Look at him with one arm holding her body up there. Amazing.
And you would never know that he still suffers from a shoulder injury.
5.7, 5.8, 5.8.
Very strong marks. These are the strongest pairs marks that we've seen in the competition so far.
The marks for presentation, 5.9.
How did they like this esoteric program?
Oh, they loved it.
I bet.
5.9.
Again, it's good to be different.
Skating for Team Russia, Oksana Kazakova and Artur Dmitriev.
Well, this pair knows about pressure. They got together in 1995, focused on the Olympic Games in '98. It played out perfectly.
And once again, those two sworn enemies, love and death, come face to face and join hands.
With a performance that was just very average for the Russians by Butrskaya, now the ball lays in the court of these two for the Russians, and look at that stuff. Great triple toe loop.
Very hard to skate. After a performance of seeing 5.9, you know you have to go all out. And yet there they played it safe by doing two side-by-side single axles instead of doubles. Again, this is the artistic program. You choose where you want the emphasis.
That's right, Roz. Creativity, emotion, and movements on the ice mean more in this part of the competition, and plus, I don't think they feel they really need that. The jumps, that is.
And that is the risk you take. You never know what the judges are looking for.
And this very familiar theme with Bolero running through it. It's the original cast album from Grand Hotel.
And Peter, no move is left unfinished in this program. Everything
bang. Watch on this flip. She'll do a full twist around his back for a dismount. And then really getting the judge's attention, what looks like it's going to be a death spiral. One hand on her blade. Very dramatic finish. Impressive. A very different look for Kozakova and Dmitriev, showing that they are not just one-dimensional, and that's what makes them exceptional.
So much difficulty that also makes them exceptional.
Boy, that's for sure. When you think about that amazing throw triple toe loop that they did early in the program, very well done.
A brilliant program, but is it good enough to beat the Europeans? The results when we come back. Welcome back to Milwaukee. The Russian team has been on top since the start. Maria Butyrskaya with a stumble in the ladies' competition. Now it comes down to Kozakova and Dmitriev.
Here's a very interesting takeoff, looking down at the ice before this triple toe, but more importantly, her position as she takes off straight, continues that in the air, perfect landing.
A wonderful lift here as the position is interesting at the top, but what really makes it terrific is the swing around the back at the end. That can really escape you with the centrifugal force, but they've mastered it. And then it just continues on. She'll do a full turn underneath his arms right here. And great flexibility with strength combined make that a great move.
The marks for skating technique, 5.8. 5.8.
Now these skating technique marks are very close to Verkel and Stoyer. It will be the presentation marks that will tell the story.
The marks for presentation, 5.8. 5.8.
And they're good, but they're not as high as Verkel and Stoyer. Again, it's the judges' choice, what they're liking in this artistic program.
Well, really here it came down to the choreography and what the preference was as far as the presentation mark was concerned between the Russians and the Germans, and the Germans edged them out with that esoteric program.
Bottom line, they didn't come up with enough to beat Wutzel and Stoyer, who earned 20 points for first. The Canadian couple third, and the new American pair still have a long way to go. Well, despite the second-place finish for Kozakova and Dmitriev, the Russians have built an insurmountable lead. Team USA has slipped into a tie for third as just 2 points separate Canada, the United States, and Europe. What's left to be decided is who can come up big among the men. All have something different and exciting to offer. A classic battle of styles still on tap, not to mention another chapter in a continuing rivalry. Leading the way, Kurt Browning. Few bring the full complement of qualities to the ice. He is one of the most engaging, entertaining, and expressive men in the sport today. Kurt Browning, a four-time world champ, has equaled that success as a pro, turning his technical prowess into artistic genius.
I have a really good time doing these events. It's a great way to live, to entertain. We don't have a lot of props. We don't have a set. We have a white piece of ice. If you don't work with the music and try to entertain the people, then it's a pretty tough palette out there. I try to encourage the audience to be as much help as they can, but we're in this together.
And these days, Kurt could use a little extra push. 5 years as a pro has left him a bit rusty when it comes to adhering to ISU rules.
It's pretty exciting to go back to some of the old rules, not all of them, thank goodness, but some of the old rules and show the old judges what I've learned. I didn't mean to call you old judges, just, the judges in the past.
Correct that.
Oh, there goes my career.
Kurt, I think we'll let you slide since you are the oldest skater here. He's up next. Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge continues from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we're set for the men's artistic skate. Kurt Browning up first, followed by Stephen Cousins, Todd Eldridge, and Alexei Yagudin.
And now for the men's artistic program. Skating for Team Canada, Kurt Browning.
Kurt had a disappointing performance in the technical program, and even though the scores don't carry over into the artistic program, he still wants to improve on his performance.
Sure, his confidence is still a little bit marred, and he can say that he likes going back to the old rules, but no matter what, you can't just change overnight, and this is the format that he's the most comfortable in. This program shows off Kurt's subtle nuances, like this spread eagle right down the side of the board, as well as the jumps that we're used to seeing. Huge double axel with a very controlled landing.
He's just so free when he skates. Going for a triple loop, but disguised it actually pretty well. Extraordinary.
Pulling off a beautiful triple sow-cow. Again, the triples aren't required, but they do add to the overall quality of the program.
Composition by Tragically Hip, and I think it's great for Kurt because there's really an unpredictable excitement about his skating. You just never know what's going to happen when he's on the ice.
Very complicated footwork under triple toe. Changes and all this footwork looks so simple. Trust me, it is very difficult. Especially when you just step into a double axel like that.
You kind of go on a journey with Kurt when he's skating on the ice. Again, vintage Kurt Browning with those steps. We keep going back to the steps, but that's what makes him so amazing. Those steps cannot be performed by anyone but Kurt Browning in the world. They're hard, but he makes them look easy, and that's what is so incredible about him.
Huge double axel right here. Always holding the landing.
And then right up into a great triple toe loop. And right away into character, into the difficult steps. This is just terrific. The way he changes direction. and edges throughout this footwork. So light, so easy, and trust me, so hard.
Right into a double axel.
I don't think there's anything Kurt Browning can't do on the ice.
The marks for skating
The
technique.
artistic program is what Kurt Browning is all about. Here are his scores for skating techniques.
Well, that failed attempt at the triple loop is showing up here in the skating techniques mark, a low of 5.6 from his own Canadian judge.
But that's what we would expect for his presentation scores.
Better believe it.
Stephen's going to have fun, and so will the audience. Stephen Cousins loves this format where he can entertain. The 9-time British national champion is technically still Olympic eligible, but his mindset is all pro.
Brothers, sisters, where are you now? As I look for you.
This is a great interpretation to Simple Minds, the music, Belfast Child.
With my faith in the church and the government, some say trouble.
Stephen's skating with an injured lower back. He keeps pushing through it. He's opening here with a triple flip. It will turn out.
Steve's definitely not a one-dimensional guy. Talking with him, his real passion is soccer, but you'd never know it looking at him on the ice because he is so proficient in skating.
Getting great speed across the ice for a combination of split right into a triple toe, right into another split jump triple toe. Great strength, great balance.
Very nice sequence of jumps. Music that's building and a lot of feeling in this.
And a lot of skaters, Peter, have to make that transition from amateur to professional. Like you said, the feeling and the emotion is already there.
Truly in his heart.
Very emotional program, but very solidly skated.
And Stephen Cousins looking to earn points for Team Europe.
Well, he certainly has made the transition to professional skating, and he makes people really feel good when he's on the ice because he enjoys it so much.
We'll have his scores right after this. Team Europe awaiting Stephen Cousins' results. They could use a boost. They're currently in 4th.
I think it's pretty cool that you can always come off to your teammates, good, bad, or indifferent. But for Stephen Cousins, the first part of his program with the jumps weren't great. Right here on the triple flip, he has good rotation, but he doesn't throw his arms out and get the leg back to stop the rotation for a smooth landing.
And yet he completed the program with really solid triple toe loops back to back, showing great stamina. Perfect leg position on both of them. Good for him.
One moment,
May not have all the difficulty of some of the other men, but still, he's so much fun to watch.
5.7. 5.6.
And the skating techniques, Mark,
5.5.
they're just not holding up to the rest of the men in this competition. A low of 5.5 from the U.S. judge.
5.7.
You can see he's disgusted with his marks for presentation, but a 5.8, that's not bad. Team USA makes their final push. Todd Eldridge looking for a little luck anywhere you can get it. Eldridge ready to give it a go. When he's on, he's on. And when he's off, he's off.
That week wasn't my week in Nagano. It's one event. It doesn't, make or break a career. Since then, kind of tried to turn things around.
In a sport where coaching changes are common, Todd left home nearly 2 decades ago to train with Richard Callahan.
We work so well together, and we always try and come up with new ideas for programs and for training and for this and for that keeps it fresh and so it doesn't get stale and doesn't just kind of sit there. There are so many different things you can do with each element.
New challenges have put the fun back in skating for Todd, but it's the same old goals that motivate him the most.
As long as when you're finished and at the end of it they're standing, that's all that matters.
And there's still a good chance that we'll see Todd in Salt Lake City at the Olympic Games 2002. He hasn't given up hope of that quite yet, and these open competitions have allowed him to do that.
He's definitely left the door open there, and if he keeps skating the way he has been, well, he has a chance.
Bocelli piece of music so suited the emotion that Todd puts into his skating.
La ragione del mio canto che resistere non può ad un così dolce pianto che mutò.
A little bit and had an uncharacteristic stumble out of that jump. true champion gets it back together within seconds after having made a mistake.
Olympics could have affected his confidence in a negative way, and instead he's using it to his advantage to keep fighting for a goal. Gorgeous triple loop. A beautiful performance by Todd Eldridge, and Roz, you bring up such a good point. We get so caught up in chasing medals that we forget sometimes that the reason we're on the ice is simply because we love it. And Todd Eldridge loves to skate, and it sure shows up.
And today, Todd has been clutch for Team USA. Kyoko and Nicole, teammates of Todd Nagano, they've seen him go through the ups and downs.
Picking up the speed for the triple axel. All seemed fine in the air. His shoulders just got ahead of him. Couldn't hang on. He had to flip out.
And then showing his quick comeback on this triple toe loop, getting his technique back. Watch now, he'll stand up straight, check out, and have a smooth exit out of that jump.
And the Lutz, one of his best, strong, reach into the jump. Again, perfect leg position.
The first set of marks for skating technique.
5.8, 5.9.
Well, these are very impressive marks.
5.7.
Couple of 5.9s.
The marks for presentation, 5.8.
5/8 across the board for Todd Eldridge for presentation.
He put his heart into it.
And fittingly, the last man on the ice is the world champion. Alexei Agudin skates for Team Russia next. As Todd Eldridge cools down, Alexei Agudin is ready to heat things up. With Team Russia already celebrating victory, the world champ delivers the final performance of the competition.
And his costume will be very well suited for this music. It's called Circus, performed by the Moscow Philharmonic Orchestra.
Made an amazing transition from strictly skating Olympic eligible competition to competitions like this. We really get to see his artistic side.
Gigantic. Huge triple axel.
Very clever choreography, and every jump has connecting moves moving choreography. Here's a little of the comedic touch that we've seen in Victor Petrenko.
But he does it better.
Absolutely.
Look at that. That is so hard. Go that far down on your knees. Stay on balance.
Everything he does has such precision and that balance. Very interesting fact. The spin, very fun.
Boy, you can't deny that. That was so incredible in the sense that it was artistic. How about those technical skills?
And it just flowed. There was never a dead spot in the program.
And that puts the exclamation point on a dominating performance by Team Russia. They are the champions. The final results when we come back to Milwaukee.
Fox Sports coverage of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual Life. Have you heard from the Quiet Company? By Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. And by Kodak Max Film. It's all you need to know about film.
No such thing as playing it safe for Alexei Yagudin. A big hug from his new coach, Tatiana Tarasova. In fact, hugs all around from his Russian teammates. Well-deserved. He turned in a beautiful program.
And one of the highlights of that program was this incredible jump. 3.5 rotations. He takes off forward. Watch the height, how straight he is in the air, the tight rotation, and the landing like it was a walk in the park. That's the way a triple axel should be done.
And nobody appreciates it more than his teammates. Every skater would love to have a triple axel like that in their arsenal.
And this Russian team is a very close team. They're always together off the ice, and they really support each other.
Alexei Yagudin, the final skater of the day, and his marks for skating techniques, very solid.
Right across the board, this is...
Presentation, all 5'9".
And that program absolutely deserved those marks.
Unquestionably.
What a way to end the day. Alexei Yagudin wins both the technical and the artistic portion of the competition. In fact, Eldridge Browning and Cousins all repeat their order of finish. And the final standings of the Northwestern Mutual Life World Team Challenge, Russia takes the title in commanding fashion. Team Russia took passion and patriotism to a new high. Striking, artistic, athletic, culminating with Alexei Yagudin's two-fisted assault on the title. For Rosalind Sumners and Peter Carruthers, I'm Susie Culver. So long from Milwaukee.